there. Well, the meetings in Canada come as Mark Carney has been sworn in as the country's new Prime Minister.
I, Mark Carney, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, King of Canada, his heirs and successors.
Mark Carney, who is a former head of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, swore allegiance, as you heard there, to King Charles in a ceremony in Ottawa. Shortly afterwards, it was confirmed he's going to head to the UK and Paris for his first overseas trip, rather than the United States, as is customary. Well, it all comes, of course, as Canada faces a tariff standoff with Donald Trump. Mr. Carney says he currently has, quotes, no plans to meet Mr. Trump, but will do so at the appropriate moment. Here's some of what Mark Carney said specifically about working with the US president.
I look forward to speaking with President Trump. Just to be clear, we respect the United States. We respect President Trump. President Trump has put some very important issues at the top of his agenda. We understand his agenda. We understand the importance of addressing the scourge of fentanyl, which is a challenge here in Canada as well as the United States. And I would say that the measures that have been put in place in recent weeks in Canada and Mexico, also the United States, means that we are making tremendous progress. I'll speak specifically for Canada against fentanyl. We understand the importance President Trump places on American workers and American jobs. We want him and his administration to understand the importance we put on Canadian workers and Canadian jobs. And we will look for avenues to work together so that both objectives are met in terms of both our great economies, just as we are doing, and the people behind me have led this, just as we are doing with respect to the scourge of fentanyl.
New Prime Minister of Canada. I'm joined by Matthew Holmes, Executive Vice President and Chief of Public Policy for the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being with us. Just first of all, on Mark Carney's appointment there, of course, confirmed today in that ceremony that we saw. He's obviously a man with huge economic and financial experience. How do you think he might steer this current very turbulent relationship as it's becoming with the US? And what are your members most concerned about?
Well, I think what Carney offers as a new prime minister here is a reset, an opportunity for new dialogue and a new player at the table across from Donald Trump. President Trump had a certain animosity towards Justin Trudeau, I believe, and we're hopeful that this allows for a reset and better dialogue.
How much concern is there about the tariffs?
Oh, the tariff is the #1 topic in Canada every day, all day. It is an existential crisis in many respects. We have a tremendous amount of trade with the United States, and in many regards, they rely on us for critical materials, components, ingredients for their entire industry. But at the same point, that makes Canada very susceptible to trade disputes. So this affects trade-exposed sectors and industries very directly, but it will ripple through the entire Canadian economy. So it is recessionary in nature. We anticipate, if the tariffs continue with a retaliatory environment, to see a recession in Canada by mid-year, job losses, and certainly some very challenging times ahead.
If President Trump does press on with them, as he is indicating, what are the options that the Canadian government now has?
There's a number of them. The concern with tariffs is they impact or they affect business almost overnight. The increase in costs to business and the uncertainty for their capital decisions, their investment decisions, and the contracts and the negotiations that they maintain in the United States, that takes effect immediately. And so many of the solutions, many of the mitigations are longer in term in nature. So that includes better internal economy and internal trade in Canada. That's a perennial issue here. That we need to do better work on in facilitating stronger internal economy, diversification to other trade partners around the world and better relationships there, and the trade infrastructure that we need to get our products to Tidewater rather than north-south, but moving more east to west. All of those take time and investment. And so there's quite a lot of momentum right now. There's an incredible unifying spirit in Canada around this challenge and this crisis. but the solutions and the response to it will take some time.
OK, we will have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for being with us there, Matthew Holmes.